The game of lacrosse has many different positions, and it's important that you understand each position and its purpose. You might be familiar with a few of the positions already, but as lacrosse has evolved, several specialized positions have emerged. Today, I'm going to explain all the lacrosse positions in depth, so you can understand exactly what's going on in a lacrosse game. I'm Jake with Lax Weekly. Let's get into the video. So let's start with the first position, attackman. So the primary job of an attackman in lacrosse is to score the ball. Attackmen are like forwards in soccer. They are tasked with getting the ball from the midfielders and shooting the ball. These players usually have the most goals or assists on the team, and there are usually 3 attackmen on the field at once. Attackmen are not allowed to cross over to the defensive side of the lacrosse field, so they are almost 100% focused on offense. They usually line up at 3 different spots on the lacrosse field, and let's go into each one. So first is the X attackman. This X refers to the area behind the goal. These players are usually the best dodgers on a team, and they try to get past their defender for a shot. Then there's the wing attackman. These attackmen line up in a wide position out and away from the goal on what we call the wing. Wing attackmen are usually good dodgers or shooters. And then there's the crease attackman. These attackmen line up close to the goal and primarily move without the ball in their stick. The X or wing attackmen look for these players for an easy slam dunk kind of shot. It's almost like a post player in basketball. Like I said, attackmen are focused on offense, but all attackmen do have one defensive responsibility called riding. Think of this like a full court press in basketball, where players have to try to prevent the opposing team from bringing the ball down the field. And by the way, you can join 3,000 other lacrosse players and join the Lax Weekly email newsletter packed with tangible tips on how to become a better lacrosse player. I'll leave a link in the description where you can go subscribe now. So the next position we have is midfielders. Midfielders are the most versatile players in lacrosse, and they can play offense or defense, and they're used all over the field. There are usually 3 midfielders on the field at once. It takes a lot of endurance to run up and down the field, so midfielders usually run in short shifts and substitute in and out often, just like you would see in a hockey game. And midfielders usually dodge and shoot from further up the field, as opposed to attackmen who dodge and shoot closer to the goal. Many of the shots that midfielders take are on the run, which means that their feet are moving while they shoot. And they also play in transition situations where they have to bring the ball from the defensive side to the offensive side of the field. So let's move on to the next position, defenders, or long poles as some people call them. Defenders try to stop opposing attackmen from scoring the ball. And defenders have an extra long 6-foot lacrosse stick compared to shorter offensive sticks. And there are usually 3 defenders on the field at once. Defenders work with their teammates and goalies to prevent an offense from scoring, and they're constantly communicating with their other defenders, and oftentimes you can hear them from the sideline. In addition to defense, defenders are tasked with clearing the ball from the defensive side of the field to the offensive side of the field in a safe and timely manner, while attackmen try to ride or play defense on them. And the last position we have is goalies. Goalies are a lacrosse team's last line of defense. They're in charge with stopping shots from the opposing team. And with shot speeds of around 100 miles per hour in professional lacrosse, goalies are some of the bravest athletes that I know. The goalie is really the commander of the entire defense. You will hear goalies constantly call out to their fellow defensemen where certain players are, and they help keep the entire unit on the same page. In addition, goalies help out on clearing to get the ball from the defense to the offense. And sometimes goalies will have to make long, accurate passes in order to make this happen. So those are the 4 main positions in lacrosse. Now let's move on to the 3 specialized positions, starting with FOGOs. Short for face off, get off, a FOGO's main job is to win the face off that happens at the start of every quarter and after every goal. Face offs are like jump balls in basketball or face-offs in hockey. 2 men are squared up to each other and try to fight for possession of the lacrosse ball. The FOGO is a relatively new position that has seen tremendous growth in the last 10 years. Some FOGOs stay on offense after winning the face-off, but most of them come out of the game in place of an offensive midfielder. If a FOGO loses a face-off, they must play defense until their team can substitute on a midfielder. So the next specialized position we have are LSMs, short for long stick midfielder. LSMs are midfielders that have an extra long pole like a defenseman, but they can go anywhere on the field like a midfielder. Players with longer poles have an easier time on defense, and 4 players with these extra long poles can be on the field at once. So teams use LSMs in defensive situations, and oftentimes an LSM will guard an opposing team's best midfielder. LSMs are also involved in face-offs, and they can either take a face-off or play on the wing and fight for the ground ball. And last up we have D-middies. D-middies, or defensive midfielders, are midfielders who specifically play on defense and instead of both offense and defense. Lacrosse teams will substitute D-middies to match up against opposing teams' midfielder. D-middies will also help clear the ball with the rest of the defense and usually come out when the ball is on offense. This position has seen a very big increase in popularity in the past 5 years as lacrosse has become more specialized. So now that you've learned all the positions, you can check out some of my other videos about the best drills for each position or whatever you want to know in lacrosse. I got you covered. I also read every comment, so let me know down in the comments below if you have any questions or thoughts, and also check out the description for other helpful links. I'm Jake with Lax Weekly. I hope you have a fantastic day.